There's a moment usually around 2 or 3 in the morning where you wake up and your brain is just on. No reason. You weren't having a nightmare. You're not sick. You just opened your eyes and now you're lying there thinking about something you said in 2014, your to-do list, what happens when stars die. And your first thought is, what is wrong with me? Here's the answer. Nothing. What your body is doing right now isn't a glitch. It isn't anxiety or bad sleep hygiene or too much screen time, though. Sure, that doesn't help. It's something older than that. Something that science has only just started to piece together. Your body is doing what human bodies have done for 300,000 years. It's just that we forgot. And the story of how we forgot is one of the strangest things I've ever come across. Let's go back. Way back. Forget turning off the lights in your room. Forget pulling the curtains. I mean true darkness. The kind that existed before electricity, before gas lamps, before candles were even common. The kind of dark where you put your hand 3 inches from your face and see nothing. That was every night for almost all of human history. 300,000 years. Our species has been around for 300,000 years. And for the overwhelming majority of that time, when the sun went down, the world went completely, utterly black. Everything we call civilization, writing, cities, science, iPhones, fits inside roughly the last 5,000 years. That's 1.7% of the timeline. The rest? Dark. Now, modern people tend to romanticize this. Starry skies, campfire vibes. But the dark wasn't romantic. It was dangerous. Legitimately, kill you dangerous. Leopards hunt at night. Hyenas hunt at night. Almost every major predator that's ever wanted to eat a human has better night vision than we do. Moving around after dark wasn't an adventure. It was a good way to become dinner. So for hundreds of thousands of years, night meant one thing: stop moving. And then someone figured out fire. Not discovered, figured out, controlled fire. Fire you could carry, feed, and keep alive. The earliest solid evidence of this is over 1 million years old, from a cave in South Africa. And fire didn't just cook food or keep people warm. It bought time. Productive day was whatever the sun gave you. 8 hours in winter, maybe 12 in summer. That was it. Sunset came and you found somewhere to huddle until morning. Fire changed the math. Suddenly you had 2, 3, sometimes 4 extra hours every single evening. Hours that didn't exist before. Hours with nowhere to be and nothing to hunt. So what did people do? An anthropologist named Polly Wiesner spent years recording conversations among the Juhuanzi, one of the last communities on Earth still living something close to the original human lifestyle, deep in the Kalahari Desert. She tracked what people talked about and when. During the day, logistics, where to hunt, what's ready to eat, who owes who what, practical, efficient. But at night, around the fire, stories. 80% of conversations were stories. Not survival talk, stories, legends, jokes. Wild speculation about distant places and people they'd never meet. Imagining things that hadn't happened yet. Wiesner's conclusion was bold. The campfire might be where human culture actually started, not in a palace, not in a temple. Around a fire, in the dark, with nothing to do but talk. Every religion, every mythology, every shared story that holds a culture together, it might trace back to that. To people sitting around a flame in the absolute dark, talking about things that didn't need to be talked about. That's what made us different from every other animal. It wasn't our tools, it wasn't our hands. It was what we did when we had nothing we had to do. But here's the part most people don't know. Because while some of your ancestors were telling stories around the fire, others were doing something even stranger. They were awake, in the middle of the night, on purpose. In 2001, a historian named Roger Akirch published research that quietly caused a small crisis in the sleep science world. He had spent 16 years reading old documents, diaries, court records, medical manuals, letters, passages from Homer, medieval prayer books. And across all of it, from dozens of cultures and hundreds of years, he kept finding references to the same thing. First sleep. Second sleep. People didn't used to sleep in one block. They slept for about 4 hours, woke up, stayed awake for 1 or 2 hours, then slept again until morning. And this wasn't insomnia. It wasn't a disorder they were documenting. It was just Sleep. How sleep worked, how everyone slept. It had a name, the watch, and people used that time deliberately. A 16th century French physician recommended couples conceive children during the watch because they'd be better at it. Doctors advised it as the ideal time for deep thinking. People visited neighbors, wrote by moonlight, lay in the dark, and just thought. Nobody thought this was weird. It was Tuesday. The reason historians missed this for so long is genuinely embarrassing. They kept translating first sleep and second sleep as something else, because they couldn't imagine humans sleeping any differently than they did. The assumption was so complete that they literally rewrote the evidence to fit their own experience. Then in 1992, a psychiatrist named Thomas Ware ran an experiment that confirmed everything. He took volunteers and removed all artificial light from their lives. 14 hours of darkness a night for a month. No instructions about sleep. Just darkness. Within a few weeks, every single participant settled into the same pattern. 4 hours, wake, 2 hours, 4 hours. Without being told. Without even knowing about Kirch's research. But here's the part that still surprises me. Ware measured their brain chemistry during that middle-of-the-night window, and what he found wasn't groggy, half-asleep biology. It was elevated prolactin, the same hormone produced during meditation, during deep calm. Participants described it as profoundly peaceful. Still, unlike any normal waking state, it wasn't a gap in sleep, it was its own thing. A distinct state of consciousness. One that almost nobody alive today has ever experienced. Because something happened, something killed it. And honestly, the answer is almost too simple. So here's where I land on this. We're not broken. Our phones are just very convincing. That 3 a.m. wake-up, the one that feels like a malfunction, it's probably your body running a program it's been running since before language existed. Before farming. Before anything we'd recognize as a society. Our ancestors lay in that same dark window and did something we've almost completely lost the ability to do. They just thought, not productively, not with a goal. They processed their dreams, turned over the day, wondered about their lives. They were present in the dark without needing to fill it. And before that, they sat around fires and told each other stories that didn't need to be told. Stories that built religions and myths and shared identities that outlasted every civilization they touched. We got a lot in return for the switch. I'm not about to tell you to throw out your lamps. But it's worth knowing what the trade-off actually was. We didn't just conquer the night. We forgot what it was for. And the next time you're lying awake at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling while your brain does its strange wandering thing, maybe just let it. You're not broken. You're just old. Ancient, actually. 300,000 years old, doing exactly what you were built to do.